In this video, we will introduce the most important elements of grievance mechanisms in line with the ASC Farm and Feed standards. We'll look at what a grievance mechanism is, its benefits, and what the key points of attention are. Let's get started. So, what is a grievance mechanism? Simply put, a grievance mechanism is a process for people to raise concerns or complaints and get them resolved. If done well, it is a process that benefits everyone involved. It allows people to report any negative impacts from the farm or feed mill's activities, with the aim of solving the issue by common agreement and repairing any damage caused. Grievance mechanisms help companies correct any problems, tackle issues before they worsen or escalate, and identify long-term patterns that may need improvement or prevention measures. Under the ASC standards, farms and feed mills need to have two grievance mechanisms in place, one for employees and another one for local communities, including Indigenous groups. Let's now go through 4 sections on some of the most important points to comply with the ASC standards. Set up accessible, fair and transparent grievance mechanisms. Ensure that people know their rights and the grievance mechanisms in place. Facilitate safe access to these mechanisms. Process any grievances received fairly and timely. To develop accessible and fair grievance mechanisms, ASC recommends that companies involve employees and community representatives in the development process to determine together the way the grievance mechanisms should work. For instance, agreeing the best ways for everyone to access it, with particular attention to the needs of vulnerable groups. In the case of communities, a good first step in this direction could be a stakeholder mapping exercise to identify vulnerable groups and key community members for the company to involve in the process. Lay out clear steps for how grievances can be submitted and how they will be investigated and handled, including details about how to appeal a decision, who is involved in decision-making, how records are kept, and what kind of remediation may be available. A grievance mechanism only works well if stakeholders understand what their rights are in the first place. Communication and awareness raising are key here. Companies should make sure that employees and communities understand their rights and are well informed about the grievance process and steps to follow in case of violation and damages. It is important to note that any complaints connected to the activities of the company can fall under the scope of the grievance mechanism. Examples could span from operational inefficiencies to discrimination in case of employees, and from quality of life to environmental damages for communities. It is essential that all employees and community members know when, how, and how often they can access the grievance mechanism, the steps of the process, the expected timeline for a response, how the decision process works, and what the appeal possibilities are. Spreading such awareness must be done in the best ways to reach the targeted people, including those who cannot read. Regular training sessions, posters, pamphlets, and newsletters all help get the message across. And so can visual aids, in-person meetings, local publication, and practical examples. Different awareness-raising methods must be part of the company's continuous engagement and dialogue with both employees and local communities. A grievance mechanism isn't useful if people cannot easily access it or feel uncomfortable and threatened when using it. That's why the ASC standards stress the importance for the company to make sure that employees and community members get easy and direct access to grievance mechanisms without having to fear any consequences or retaliation. That can be achieved by combining different inclusive and safe options, such as offer different ways to submit complaints, like dedicated phone lines, in-person meetings, email addresses to accommodate different preferences. Allow anonymous reporting possibilities, guaranteeing confidential handling of the complaint, transparency on how remediation decisions are taken, just to name a few. Once grievance cases are submitted, ASC recommends that companies follow specific steps to ensure a transparent and fair handling of submitted cases. Some of the most important steps entail: running an investigation with people not involved in the grievance to establish facts, keeping the person who has submitted the grievance up to date on the progress, developing detailed action plans for the resolution of each grievance, tracking progresses of the resolution process, agreeing on a remediation plan and monitoring its implementation, addressing all grievances within 90 days and making sure that dangerous violations are immediately acted upon, keeping comprehensive records of all grievances, responses and remedies for transparency, accountability and future improvements. In conclusion, well-designed grievance mechanisms build trust, make sure concerns are handled fairly, and prevent issues and escalations. By following these steps, companies can effectively implement robust grievance mechanisms aligned with the ASC standards.